Okay, how is everybody doing? So picture this, okay? Put it 150 years in the past, or maybe 150 years in the future, and this is the situation. This is all has to do about a hotel, okay? Levels of a hotel. So the guy comes to the front desk, the woman looks at him, the guy looks at the woman and says, "Hi." The woman says, "How big is it?" He goes, "Enough for 2 nights." She goes, "Okay, leave it in the lobby." He says, "I can't take it with me." She says, "There's an exchange up there." Next guy comes in. She takes a look at him. She says, "Okay." She says, "What do you need, 4 nights?" She goes, "How do you know?" She says, "I see this by the size of your log." Next one comes in. It's a woman. She has 2 candles in her hand. And you always know there's a before and an after. She says, "Oh, you're just coming from a rest." She goes, "Yes." She says, "Leave one of the candles at the door." Another woman comes in with three candles. She says, "Oh, you're coming for part of the night. You'll be meeting someone." She goes, "Yes, leave 2 candles by the door." Because now what am I talking about? Okay, first of all, you can't light up the rooms. There's no electricity, so they brought a candle. And the guys came in with wood, so they can warm up the room. So in order to pay for it, they had to leave candles and wood at the front door. And eventually, this hotel, over a period of time, where now they have too much wood and too many candles, they now say if you want to stay here anymore, in the next 3 months, we'll be changing over from candles until something else. And so the money system got started in that fashion, right? And they were all going to use, now what happened is when the girl had 3 candles, right, she knew there was a before and after candle, and the one that was lit while you were doing it with whoever was there. Whether you were reading something to do with an action. So you had the 3 candles for Trinity. The mind is an action. Whatever your hands do and your body does, that's besides the point. The big question is, what is your mind doing? Because your body does whatever your mind tells it. When your mind says stop, it stops. When the mind says go, it goes. And it's the mind that's in control. So it's only the mind and nothing else is actually moving at all. So over a period of time, this is what happened. The guy who brought in 2 logs, okay, he knew he was staying for 1 night because man's value of 1 makes him need 2 to get the 3 for creation. But when the woman brings in a candle, it takes the 1 woman with the number 2 guy to create. So the woman who's number 2 gets 1, and the man who's number 1 gets 2, which makes it 3 and 3. Christ's command. So it's just a way of playing with numbers. This shows you, okay, that there's 3 islands here, there's 3 islands here, okay? It shows you 1, 2, 3 levels. But there's more ways to look at this card. If this card was blank and I had to redo it, I'd put a dot up here, I'd put a dot in between here. I'd put all these diamonds and I'd fill up this whole thing with diamonds. And then to close it off on the side, here and here and here, to close it off on the outside, I'd chop the diamonds all in half so they'd block up this section. And then you can create your game board of life. 1 this way and 1 this way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the bottom. Now you have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Oh, and there is a whole game about this with numbers. I can assure you that. And this row here, if there was the ace card would count for area 51, okay, because it's in the middle dot. And from the bottom, there's 3 rows to get here, and there's 3 rows to get here. 3 and 3 is 6, okay? And there's 3 in the middle. So the one in the middle here, if you go down 1 row, 2 rows, the 3rd row, that would be the 8. If you go from here to here to here, it would be the 8. You have the 88 of both sides. So that would be 16. Plus, it's an area of 5. That's 21. So it makes the whole ace value 21. 4 10s in the deck. Not enough to make the blackjack, right? So that's the 6 card. So if you want to see the easy count on the 6 card, it's 1, 3. Then I completely eliminate this. I use this only on the 4, 5, 6 on my phone. I jump over this. Instead of going 8, 9, 10 here, I use this as the 4, 5, 6 key, okay? Not using 1, 2, 3 or 7, 8, 9 because I'm using it down here and up here. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. So what you get over here would be the 4 and the 6. or this way would be the 2 and the 8. Because your telephone, you take it, you turn it, and you turn it, and you turn it, and you turn it. Once you've turned it, okay, once you've turned it once, okay, and twice, this angle, okay, let's say we start on this angle. We turn it once and twice. We have the same angle as before, only twice. But there's 4 ways around. In a circle, or let's say a square, there's 4 sides. So 4 directions of 45 or 90 degrees make 360 degrees. But we only did 180 degrees because we don't have to do any more. We're connected here and we're connected here. It only has to go here and here, and that's it. Once this 9 position's out, if you look up into the empty part of the card, this is where the 1 should have went. 9 opposite the 1. Anyways, you have those 2 angles. Anyways, here's the card. 1 and 3 is 4. 4 and 6 is 10, is 14. And 4 on the bottom is 18. This card has a value of 18. 6, okay, in creation is 3. Okay, 6's, 666 is 18, and that's man, the 6th card. 6 and 6 in the corners make that 1830, and that would be the creation egg. Now, if you add back the center here of 7, 8, and 9, you would have 16 and 16 on each side, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. Okay, only the 7 and 9 count is 16 and 16 is 32, plus the 30 that we had is 62, and that says the queen dog. 6, 2, 6, 22, 6, queen, dog, dog, queen, and that all has to do with the 6 card. Now, why can I do it both ways? I only can do it both ways on the diamond card, because the diamond card is the card that connects the whole totality. This creates the Magen David, this creates the hexagons, this creates everything. There's everything you have to just do. There's so many things you have to put add-on spaces and design in space. There's just so much. There's more and more than is more and more. Okay? You have to make it. Don't forget, this is the outside line here. Okay? There has to be a cushion on this, on the outside line. This is one game. Didn't you notice, like, all the cards, they're all the same shape? Pretty cool, eh? Because they're all in the same game. Once you put them up together, you show them the back side. Okay, go and play. Here's the maze. What are we doing now? Oh, I'd love a coffee right now. I just ran out of one. I can probably drink a dozen cups today. Russia, you're still up there. Now let's go. Let's see what my mind is like right now. Although I'm working on something a little bit different, I'm working on o'clock. Because when you say 10 o'clock, the O from the 10 and the O from the o'clock come together and show a double zero. So therefore, at 10 o'clock, you have 001. What happens at 7 o'clock? Well, the 8 is before the 7, right? So that's 2 O's. So that would be 007, like 007. 7 to 8 is 007, because the 7 hits the 00 of 8. The 8 is a joiner. It joins the 7 to the 9. All our numbers, all our letters, they all make another formation to do something different. And it's pretty easy. You move a shape this way or that way, you create another shape, and you say, now it looks like a W, but before, if you turned it out, it would have looked like a square. So you say, just a coincidence, right? That's the way I'm always pushed off. But that's okay, because I see it and I know the truth about it, and I see how it comes. And then I turn it into numbers to see if I can get the same numbers inside another shape, explaining the same difference. Russia, America, bankers, you know what? According to all the games, nobody can know it all. Okay, that's number one. Okay, now, can it be China trying to take over the world? They moved out from Asia. They're one of the oldest species. The Indians were there. I call them all the same. Indian, Chinese, Eskimos. To me, they're all the same. So they're actually a big population. So did it come from China, and over the years they turned into European Americans and then just regular Americans until we couldn't tell the difference anymore, mixing them up with the incoming and outcoming of the people from other countries into your country, giving everybody citizenship and not being able to see the difference anymore. So is it a one complete global takeover by one? Well, if one knows to take over, another one knows to stop. So then this guy who wants to stop decides he wants to take over because the other one is too dangerous. Now there's got to be an opposition to the two, the one that's completely going to stop. So now you got three. So you got three, but everybody's got to have friends. Okay? So the one who wants everything to stop has no friends. I'll explain to you why. The ones who wanted to start, the world war or whatever it is, the ones who wanted to start, okay, will get a friend on each side. Okay? And you can pay off these friends. Okay, so you get one on each side. So there's two that want to start, so they got a friend on each side. You'd actually be looking at this. He wants to start, he's got a friend here and a friend here. He wants to start, he's got a friend here and a friend here. It's these two against each other. But you have a team of 6, but only one in the center that wants to stop them both. That's the connection of God. That goes through the center. It would be the 2 here. In here we already know it would be 21. And 6 would be 31, creation world. Okay? So now the only one who wants to stop, so how come the one who stops has no friends and everybody else has friends? Well, everybody else needs friends for protection. Everybody who wants to stop is basically all in the same gang. There is no against each other. If 2 groups wanted to stop, they're going to become one group. When one group wants to grow bigger, they're going to build more groups. They'll never be one group. They can't, because one wants to take and the other one wants to take and the other one wants to separate them both. And where do they get separated at? Between 16, 17, 18 and 18, 19, 20 on the roulette wheel. And we're going to jump into roulette for 2 seconds, okay, because there's a hidden number in roulette that nobody sees, a couple of hidden numbers, and one of them is the middle 18. And the reason for the middle 18 is because that's the part where man starts to live in the numbers with his compartment angel. And I think if I'm correct, that would start at 10 and end at 28. So the 28 would explain the beta heaven. It would be the T and H. B, in the B position of 2 on your telephone, if you keep going through the alphabet, if I'm not mistaken, the T ends up there. And if I'm not mistaken, the H and the 8 are in the same position, which means the TH heaven, time heaven, 4th TH, 5th TH, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th TH, 11th TH, all the way up to 20th TH, and then you got 21st again. So, now where was I going with this? The time heaven, the numbers, it's just that there's just, everything is so perfect. If you want to start, you go at ST. Start, ST, stop, ST, fast, ST, best, ST, last, first. And other words like won, I won, WON, but I'm one. 1 and 1, I'm one that won. 1 and 1, 11, Elenin. The one that won is born, 11, 9, Elenin. Okay, so I'm all lost around here. But in all, who do we actually honor at the end of the game? We could honor a Delta Angel, which means one part of the creative part of man. But out of this game, we do not need that Delta Angel because it's actually AC/DC with 3 parts in it, which is triangular. Which means that man was in the beta system. He was part of the system, so he was second to the system. He was hooked up with his angel is 3, and then back in the other world where he goes is 4. So when he goes back, there's no more 4 because he's in the other world. One gets removed from this world and gets placed in the other world, the AC/DC exchange. Okay, so man would be third, RD. He was in the electronic world, so third, RD, would be 3, ARED, arid. A spray. Okay, the ED, the third, would be RED for 3 red, because what happens at the end is 3 goes over 1 in the 2 world. Man's creation, which is the one spirit, comes inside the spirit world and becomes a real spirit. He becomes a real boy out of the puppet house of number 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 32, 27, 30, 33, 36. What is her shape? She's in the lower section, right? the lower or the higher section of the roulette. So third beats second. Second best. Third is actually the omega. Okay, and I always call the omega the opposite. So third is actually first, and first is third. Because when you put the ST, okay, onto RD, okay, it means the spirit transmission, okay, redemption of the D angel, which means you have moved from third to first. Although you're always first, wherever you go, okay, it's just the position numbers that made the movement. I hope I didn't mix anybody else up. I'm going to be doing something on number 7, number 23, and I was on o'clock. The one thing with o'clock, the number count for OCL, okay, which would be 15, 18, which would be 30, which would mean world. And on the OCK of o'clock, which would be 15, 18, 30, which means creation heaven. Let me read this again. 29 means the birth, and the OCK means the heaven. So o'clock means birth in heaven. Okay, what heaven? Fifth, sixth, time heaven, third. Why third? Because it's the third round. Isn't it right? 3 rounds done? Anyways, no more joking around here. So if somebody brings a log to your house, it means they need a room to warm by some kind of fire, and they're not trying to push anything on you. And it's all codes. Everything's a code. Everything. I just know that, thank God, I'm not heavily into, oh my God, is it a code? I do basically look at everything, but I don't really, I just let it, unless it really connects to me, I'll write it down and play a game with it to have fun. And whatever I come up with, and the rest goes into that garbage can. And then I throw it out, and you can see it's empty because I've been saving all my work lately. No, because I cleaned the house, and it's still a mess. So what chapter are we on? We're on the chapter that never ends. The never-ending chapter. This is the chapter that everything I forget to say that's in the chapter is in this chapter. This is the chapter that has no number, this is a blank page chapter, that the gold keeps coming in from my mind onto the silver screen and opened up into the energy of another one's space. So be peaceful in this space we have. Because the last thing I'm going to say, I'm all over the place, I got to get off. O'clock number count, 44. Now that really has to get me. 4 by 4, which means space in space, because the word space is 44. And 4 by 4 means many, many things. 4 by 4 is 16, right away it means the spirit has connected. Okay, how can I explain it? 4 times 4 is 16. The 1 is the spirit, the 6 are the 3 islands that I told you about. You don't see the 1 on this card because this is 1. It's supposed to be a square. On this side would be the ace card. On this side would be the ace, facing the 1. So it would end up right over here in the center. And there's nothing over here. So this is not the world. The one that makes up the world is the 7 card, where this dot goes here, making all these connect. Once this goes in the center, once there's a dot in the center, that means 1 dot for 4, or 4 for 1, and 1 for 4, 4 for 1, 1 for 4, 4 for 1, 1 for 4. Look up Sesame Street 4114, you'll see what it says. It'll say, see, same street, Sesame Street. And I'll take some olives with that, please. Thank you.